Hello, welcome guys to my YouTube channel Prakash Coaching Classes. Today we are going to continue the science chapter metals and non-metals. In the last class we have discussed about the chemical properties of metals. Two properties we have already discussed. Now today we are starting with the third property, which is reaction of metals with other metal salt solution. So how does a metal reacts with the other metal salt solution? Let's see. When a metal A is reacted with the salt solution of B, then the salt solution of it displaces the metal present in the salt solution B, and the salt solution of A is present formed and metal B has been separated out. Now let's understand better with the help of an example. In this example, zinc has been treated with the salt solution of copper sulfate. Zinc being more reactive than copper, it displaces it and forms ZnSO4 aqueous plus Cu. So this is how a metal reacts with the salt solution of other metal. Last property of metal, reaction of metals with acids. Metals react with dilute acid to form salt and hydrogen gas is liberated. Now here there an example we can take to understand. Potassium is treated with hydrochloric acid to form potassium chloride and hydrogen gas. Now here an important point to be noted is that metals have different reactivity. The most reactive and the medium reactive metals react with dilute acid to liberate hydrogen gas. However, the least reactive metals such as copper, mercury does not react with acids. Hello. Next, reactivity series. Arrangement of metals in a vertical column in order of their decreasing reactivity downwards is known as reactivity series. So there are certain elements which are arranged in a proper order in order how they react with other chemicals. For example, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, mercury, silver and gold. In this list of metals, the most reactive is potassium, then sodium, calcium and so on. So this is the most reactive, and as we go down the vertical column, the reactivity of the metal decreases, with gold being least reactive. That is why you see when we wear the ornaments of pure gold, the erosion is happening less, and years and pass on, still the gold shine is as it is. There is no decrement in the gold ornament shine. Next, reaction of metals and non-metals. Non-metals and metals combine to form a new compound. But how this combination took place? What are the factors which are involved in the combination? Do all atoms are combining with other atoms? No. There are specific rules, there are specific conditions which needs to be met before for the combination of the two atoms to form a new compound. So हम ये देखेंगे इस टॉपिक में कि एटम्स कंबाइन कैसे होते हैं, कौन से ऐसे फैक्टर्स होते हैं जिन पे ये कॉम्बिनेशन डिपेंड करता है. So first, atoms combine with other atoms to complete their octet or duplet so that they acquire nearest noble gas configurations. So what is here, two terms are being discussed, octet and duplet. In 9th class chemistry chapters, we have discussed the concept of valency, valence electrons. So valence electrons are the electrons which are present in the outermost shell, and free electrons. They can lose the atoms in the shell and they can combine to complete the octet. Octet means set of 8 electrons, and duplets means set of 2 electrons, which is in the case of hydrogen. So एटम्स कंबाइन तभी करेंगे जब उनमें ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट हो. लास्ट आउटर मोस्ट शेल में 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स या 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का सेट कंप्लीट होना चाहिए, तभी होगा टू अचीव नोबल गैस कॉन्फिगरेशन. नोबल गैसेज आर नियॉन, हीलियम, आर्गन, लाइक दैट, जिनमें ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट होता है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, दे कंप्लीट देयर ऑक्टेट बाय एनी वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मेथड्स. सो नाउ The objective is to complete the octet or duplet. But how to do this? There are two methods to do this task. First is by transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom. That is, one atom may lose electrons and other may gain electrons. So now to complete the octet, one's valence electron can lose the electrons. Losing of electrons, the atoms becomes positive charge and it is known as cation, while the other atom which is accepting the electrons is known as anion, as it has excess electrons and it has negative charge on it. The combination of the compound which is formed by the donating of electrons and accepting of the electrons is known as an ionic bond. Second method, by sharing of electrons. To complete the octet, the electrons can be shared. Such compound which is formed by the sharing of electrons is known as covalent. So atoms can be shared on the two bases, which first is ionic bond and second is covalent bond. Now let's take an example to understand how metals and non-metals combine with each other. I have taken an example of sodium chloride NS, which is NaCl. So if you see here, sodium atomic number is 11. So its electronic configuration can be written as 2, 8 and 1. Now here important point to note is that the outermost shell contains 1 electron. Now in outermost shell it can complete octet by donating 1 electron and accepting 7 electrons. Donating 1 electron is much easier for sodium as it requires less energy to do it. However, acquiring 7 electrons requires very much energy and it is not possible in this universe to have such energy. So it donates 1 electron to attain a positive charge and its configuration will remain 281, 28. 1 electron will be omitted out. Similarly, with chlorine, configuration is 287. It has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Gaining 1 electron requires very much less energy as compared to donating 7 electrons. So here it gains this electron with this and attain noble gas configuration. So here noble gas configuration is attained, outermost electrons are 8 and here outermost electrons are 8. So these two combines to form NaCl and this is an ionic bond. Properties of ionic compounds. There are 4 properties which we are going to discuss for the ionic compounds. In the previous topic we have discussed what an ionic compound is. First property, physical nature. Ionic compounds are generally solids and hard in nature. Second, melting and boiling point, have high and melting and boiling point of ionic compounds. Third, solubility, they are soluble in water but insoluble in solvents such as kerosene and petrol. So in water they are soluble but in kerosene and petrol they are insolubles. Fourth, conduction of electricity. Now as we know, the physical nature of ionic compounds are solid and are hard. So to conduct an electricity we require free movement of charges. So in order that we require a water. So when we immerse ionic compounds in water solution, the ions becomes free to move and start conducting electricity. So that's all in this part. We will continue this chapter in the next class. So thank you guys for watching this video. Do like, subscribe and share the video.